You know this picture. A man kneels in the dirt, head bowed. A sword lowers, slowly, and touches his shoulder. And in that moment, we imagine, something sacred passes into him. Honor, a code, a vow to protect the weak. We know this picture by heart. Almost none of it is true.
We think of a knight as an idea first, a good man in armor, bound by a code, sworn to virtue, gentle to the helpless, and fierce to the wicked. But strip away the poetry, and a knight was something colder. He was not first a good man. He was, first, a weapon system. What defined him was not his soul. It was his ability to show up to a war on horseback, in armor, ready to kill. That was the whole job. So if knighthood wasn't about virtue, what was it actually about? Money. Staggering amounts of it. Consider what the machine cost. By some estimates, a single good warhorse could run close to a full year's income for the knight himself, and he often needed more than one. Then the armor. By some accounts, a full set of war gear cost a common man many months of wages. Add a squire, add years of training from boyhood. The whole package could cost as much as an entire village. And here is the strange part. It wasn't paid in coin. It was paid in land. A lord gave a man land, and the peasants who worked it, in exchange for a promise to ride to war when called. The knight wasn't paid to fight. He was given people to rule so that he could afford to. He was, in a sense, a tax that rides a horse. So picture the battlefield. We expect noble duels, equals meeting in honest combat. But killing an enemy knight was quite simply bad business. A dead enemy is worth nothing. A living one is worth a ransom. War was an economy of prisoners. You captured the wealthy, you held them, and their families paid to get them back. And the code? The code stopped at the edge of your own class. To peasants and foot soldiers, none of it applied. They were robbed. Their villages were burned on purpose, a tactic so common it had a name. To your equal, a ransom. To the commoner, fire. William Marshall, remembered as the greatest knight who ever lived, claimed, according to his own account, to have beaten some 500 knights and made a fortune doing it. So where did the shining version come from? We assume chivalry described how knights lived. It didn't. Much of the code was written down to restrain these men. The church and the poets were trying to put a leash on violent, heavily armed landowners. And the gleaming image, the one we carry now, was painted in much later, by troubadours, then centuries on by the Victorians, who loved a clean fantasy of a noble past. And to be honest, historians still argue about this, whether knights ever really lived by the code at all, or whether it was always, in part, a kind of theater. So the next time you call a man chivalrous, listen to what you're really saying. You're repeating a piece of propaganda, a story invented to tame armed and dangerous men. And yet, there is something almost beautiful in it, an ideal that the real knights never met, outlived every one of them by 800 years. The dream proved stronger than the steel. Chivalry was never how knights lived. It was how we wished they had. And that wish outlasted them all.